Season's greetings, friends. Let's take a joyful stroll down memory lane. As the holiday season approaches, we take a moment to reflect with gratitude and joy. It's been a year filled with memorable moments, milestones, and a few surprises. From the little victories to the grand celebrations, every moment has shaped our journey.
The bells of Sleigh Bell Hollow rang out across the night, their tones rich and familiar. Yet as the final chime faded, something uncanny stirred. The sound reversed, echoing backward, as though the bells themselves were caught in memory. The jeweled sleigh slid to a halt in the courtyard of the Frank and Lean mansion, its ruby runners cutting clean lines through the snow. The horses snorted clouds of silver breath, their harness bells chiming in perfect harmony with the carols drifting from the village square. Frank stepped down first, brushing frost from his velvet coat. His boots crunched against the cobblestones, and he paused to take in the sight of the mansion, its windows glowing like a beacon against the night. He smiled, though there was a weight in his eyes, as if the house remembered things he would rather forget. Eileen followed, her presence commanding yet gentle. She carried herself with the grace of someone who had lived through many winters, and still found beauty in each one. Around her neck, the pendant glimmered faintly, catching the lantern light. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but Frank noticed. He always noticed. "Ah, Eileen," he said softly, offering his hand as she stepped down. "The air smells of secrets tonight." "And secrets," she replied, her lips curving into a knowing smile, "have a way of finding us." The villagers cheered from the square, waving lanterns in greeting. But not everyone celebrated openly. From the shadows near the gate, Katie Nicole and Christian crouched low, her briefcase balanced on her knees. She scribbled furiously in her notebook, her breath fogging the page. Frank. Eileen. Sleigh. Pendant. She underlined each word twice. Mystery confirmed. Gold bent. The Frank and Lean mansion welcomed its guests with warmth that seemed to spill from every candle and garland. The great hall was alive with holiday splendor, pine boughs draped across the banisters, ribbons tied in perfect bows, and a towering tree glittering with ornaments that caught the firelight like jewels. Frank paused at the threshold, his eyes sweeping over the familiar space. Though the decorations sparkled, he felt the weight of memory pressing against the walls. This house remembers more than it shows, he thought, adjusting his velvet coat. Eileen stepped beside him, her pendant glowing faintly again. She touched it absent-mindedly, as if it were a heartbeat she could not ignore. "It feels different this year," she murmured. "As though the house itself is waiting." Before Frank could reply, Kevin Thomas burst into the hall, balancing a tray of steaming cocoa mugs. His bow tie was crooked, his shoes squeaked and firmed. Goldie padded past her, tail wagging, bow tie askew. She sniffed the air, ears twitching, before bounding toward the mansion doors. Katie ducked lower, Christian whispering, "Not now, Goldie." But the dog only barked once, loudly, as if announcing her presence to the world. Inside, the mansion was alive with warmth. Garlands draped across the banisters, candles flickered in crystal holders, and the scent of cinnamon and pine filled the air. Kevin Thomas bustled about with a tray of cocoa mugs, nearly tripping over Goldie as he entered. "Careful there, Goldie," Kevin exclaimed, wobbling dangerously before righting himself. "One of these days, you'll send me tumbling into the fireplace." The pendant glowed brighter, casting a turquoise shimmer across the walls. Shadows stretched and squeaked with every step, and his expression was one of determined cheer. "Welcome, welcome," Kevin exclaimed, nearly tripping over Goldie, who had chosen that exact moment to sprawl across the rug. The tray wobbled dangerously, cocoa sloshing perilously close to the edge. "Careful, Kevin," Frank said with a chuckle. "You'll drown us in chocolate before we've even had a sip." Kevin straightened, puffing out his chest. "Nonsense," I've rehearsed this balancing act for weeks. It's practically a performance piece." He attempted a bow, only to spill a few drops onto the carpet. Goldie lapped them up happily, tail wagging in approval. Eileen smiled, though her eyes remained fixed on the pendant. Its glow had grown stronger, casting turquoise shadows across the garlands. She whispered, almost to herself, "Every gift has a secret. Every secret has a song." Unnoticed by the others, Katie Nicole and Christian had slipped through the side door, her briefcase clutched tightly. They moved with the precision of a detective, their eyes darting from the glowing pendant to the flickering shadows it cast. She scribbled notes in her journal, crouching behind the banister. "The pendant reacts to the house," she wrote. "Possibly alive." The night sky above Sleigh Bell Hollow shimmered with impossible beauty. Snowflakes rose upward, drifting into patterns that glowed like lanterns suspended in the heavens. Constellations unfolded one by one, their stars brighter than any winter night had ever known. Katie Nicole stood at the center of the square with Christian, her notebook open, eyes darting between the pendant's turquoise glow and the sky above. "It's a map," she whispered. "Guide us." The villagers gathered around, lanterns raised high. Their fear had softened into wonder, though uncertainty lingered in their voices. "But where does it lead?" asked Mrs. Carnable, clutching her shawl. Frank stepped forward. The sleigh shuddered, its carvings glowing brighter, as though listening. Eileen lifted the pendant, its turquoise light spilling across Frank's face. "Then speak the truth now. Not as a craftsman, not as a dreamer, but as someone who believes." Frank closed his eyes, inhaling deeply. When he spoke, his voice was steady, strong. "I believe. I believe this sleigh was meant to fly. I believe the stars are guiding us. And I believe that together, we can make it soar." The pendant flared, brighter than ever, and the constellations above shifted into a single radiant path. The sleigh lifted higher, its runners humming with energy, its glow illuminating every face in the hall. The villagers cheered, their voices rising in song. "Believe again, the stars ignite, the sleigh will soar into the night."
Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.